Hello guys, today in this video, we are going to help you to find out the best wireless gaming mouse in market. I made this list based on my personal opinion and I tried to list them based on their quality, durability, customer review and more. If you want to see their price and find out more information about them, you can check our links in the description below. Number 7. Corsair Gadget Pro Wireless. Taking cues from the Logitech G305, the Gadget Pro Wireless takes a simpler, more elegant approach to the lightweight rodent. For a $30 mouse, the Gadget Pro doesn't actually feel like a budget offering. Not bad if you need a reliable wireless gaming mouse with decent battery life. Just be sure you keep some extra AAs around to be on the safe side. On the downside, the Gadget Pro Wireless is a lot less flashy than Corsair's usual gaming peripherals, with no RGB to speak of or eye-catching features. That being said, it's a comfy mouse that travels well. Oh, did we already mention that it's $30? Number 6. Razer Viper Ultimate. This wireless, ambidextrous esports gaming mouse is for the serious competitor who wants something fast and accurate. The Viper Ultimate is almost a complete opposite from its bigger brother, the Razer Basilisk Ultimate, sacrificing buttons for a more lightweight design. The Viper Ultimate is also loaded with Razer's hyperspeed wireless transmission tech, which it claims is 25% faster than competitors. According to Razer, you should be able to achieve latencies of less than 0.2 milliseconds, which is essentially the same as the wired version of the Viper. In other words, it should perform just as well as the best wired mice. And thankfully, it does just that from my testing. I mainly tested it in Fortnite, where you need to snap to targets and often sweep across your entire mouse pad to build structures. I found it tracked my movement as accurately as any wired mouse I've used, no matter how quick my movements. It felt consistently sharp, I never detected any delays on screen with either my movement or clicks, and it performed well at a variety of DPI settings. I play with quite a low sensitivity, and dialing down the DPI on the Viper Ultimate is easy thanks to a small button housed on the bottom of the mouse, where you can't accidentally nudge it. It has 5 settings to cycle through, and you can customize the DPI for each one in Razer's Synapse software. The only real shortcomings I found are that the right-left mouse buttons can feel a little flimsy due to the entire mouse being so light. It has fewer programmable buttons than its competitors, such as the Logitech G502 Lightspeed or even the Basilisk Ultimate, but comes in at the same hefty price range. Thankfully, its speed, 70-hour battery life, and ambidextrous design make it the best wireless mouse for competitive gaming around. Number 5. Logitech G604 Lightspeed. The Logitech G604 Lightspeed has only recently become one of our favorite gaming mice. Its insanely long battery makes it the perfect mouse for gaming on the go. Logitech boasts that the G604 can last over 200 hours in a single AA battery through some serious logi sorcery. While less flashy than your typical gaming mouse, it still has everything a PC gamer needs. For starters, the 6 reprogrammable buttons along the comfortable thumb rest make the G604 a great pick for those who religiously remap their controls. If you play many MOBAs or MMOs, the Logitech G604 might be the mouse for you. Number 4. Corsair Dark Core RGB Pro SE. Corsair's refreshed Dark Core RGB Pro SE improves on what became one of our favorite wireless gaming mice when it debuted back in 2018. Thanks to many small improvements, such as 18,000 DPI, Qi wireless charging compatibility, and 2000 Hz hyperpolling tech, the Dark Core RGB Pro SE is back with a vengeance. The Dark Core RGB Pro SE also works well when paired with the Qi wireless charging mouse pad of your choice. That's the special bit in the special edition naming. We found that you can use the mouse about 4 to 5 days before completely draining the battery. Since Qi wireless charging mousepads are becoming more popular, the Dark Core is a good future-proof mouse. There are fewer buttons than its predecessor, but the layout is now cleaner and more thought out because of it. The upgraded PixArt PAW3392 optical sensor now reaches 18,000 DPI, and the QI wireless compatibility and improved battery life are just some of the improvements under the hood that should get some folks excited. The other is the $90 price that well undercuts its competitors like the Logitech G604 Lightspeed or the ROG Spot, which is another gaming mouse for people with big mitts. I need to give the button layout a shout out too. Mostly the smart placement of the two buttons to adjust DPI on the fly, located on the edge of the left mouse button that cycles through your onboard profiles. The light indicator to let you know which profile you're on is also a nice touch. At first, I was concerned that the LMB being slightly thinner than the RMB to accommodate the two extra buttons might affect my gameplay. Still, it ended up being a non-issue playing frantic shooters such as Call of Duty Warzone. At under $100, the Dark Core RGB SE is a great price for a hell of a fast and accurate wireless gaming mouse. It's worth noting that this weighty mouse's textured grip might feel a little strange if you're not used to a palm grip style mouse or if you have smaller hands, but it's worth persevering with. Number 3. Logitech G305 Lightspeed. With the Logitech G305 Lightspeed, Logitech has created a high-performance wireless gaming mouse that doesn't cost the earth. Its mid-range price has it competing against some great wired mice, but there's no compromise here in terms of performance or design. The G305 uses Logitech's Hero sensor, an iteration of the fantastic sensor in the G502. It can last more than 200 hours on a single AA battery. The small wireless dongle can be stored inside the body of the mouse, but critically, the left and right click buttons are separate pieces from the removable palm rest, ensuring a reliable and satisfying click. The shape of the G305 is based on a small, ambidextrous design Logitech has been using for years. While components like the scroll wheel and buttons don't feel quite as premium as the ones in the G502, they're still far better than anything you'll find in a cheap gaming mouse. The quality and performance of the G305 are killer features for its price. Number 2. Razer DeathAdder V2 Pro. Razer has recently unleashed a trinity of wireless gaming peripherals, building upon the V2 editions of its most popular products. The Black Widow V2 Pro wasn't a huge success, but the Razer Blackshark V2 in both wired and wireless Pro iterations is one of the best gaming headsets. When it comes to its updated mice, the wireless V2 Pro has the same super comfortable, stylish design, and the Focus Plus sensor is as swift and as accurate as any wired rodent you could find. With the hyperspeed wireless tech connecting you to your gaming PC practically latency-free. With around 70 hours of gaming battery life, the DeathAdder V2 Pro is now the ultimate version of this long-lived rodent. The left and right mouse buttons are more durable than the Elite. They're optical rather than mechanical, so they should deliver fewer misclicks, lower latency, and longer life. Razer reckons they'll last 70 million clicks rather than the 50 million for the DeathAdder Elite. While I can't possibly tell how accurate that number is, they certainly felt as responsive as I could ever need, and I never misclicked. In games of Fortnite and Escape from Tarkov, my shots felt instant, and I never had to worry about firing accidentally. The up and down sensitivity buttons have been redesigned, too. The Elites were essentially one long, thin button split in two. The V2s are wider and separated by a sliver of plastic. It doesn't look flashy, but the gap makes it easier to distinguish between the two without looking, ideal if you need to change sensitivity in the heat of battle, if you're zooming in with a sniper, say. A new button on the mouse's base also switches between custom profiles for sensitivity and RGB lighting. If you sign into Razer's Synapse software, you can set up an unlimited number of profiles, and you can also store 5 in the onboard memory to use regardless of where you plug in the V2. Once you've set up the profiles, it's easy to flip between options without digging into Synapse. It still just about sits in the shade of the Logitech G502 Lightspeed Wireless, mainly because the infinite scroll wheel of that mouse is so awesome. The DeathAdder V2 Pro is so good that it's a very close call. Number 1. Logitech G502 Lightspeed Wireless. The G502 Lightspeed Wireless is the latest iteration of a long-standing favorite among Logitech fans, the G502 Produce Spectrum. The core of the G502 Lightspeed is Logitech's 16,000 CPI Hero sensor, which makes it deadly accurate for competitive gaming. The mouse is rated for 400 IPS, so it won't drop tracking or stutter when you're wildly sweeping it across the mat. Logitech boasts the latest iteration of the Hero delivers that excellent performance at 10x the power efficiency of previous generations. The G502 does charge quickly, up from nearly empty to 100% inside 90 minutes, and offers up to 60 hours of battery life with the lights off. The flashiest of the G502's features is its compatibility with the PowerPlay charging mat. The mat continuously charges the mouse on the fly, and if you pair them in Logitech's G Hub software suite, allows your PC to register the mouse without having to plug in the USB Nano dongle. It's completely free of the detection issues I encountered testing Razer's similar Hyperflux charging mat solution, which lost tracking near the edges of the mat and charged the mouse at a very brisk rate. You can also sync lighting between the two peripherals in G Hub if you prefer a unified aesthetic across your desk. It's not just the buttons that are customizable. The G502 also comes with optional weights in 2G and 4G sizes that can be added to the mouse chassis if you prefer a heavier pointer. Adding 16G to the unit makes it feel and behave substantially different and brings the overall weight up to a pleasant 130G. It's nice to be able to alter the mouse on the fly from its default Sparrow weight to something with a little more heft. I tend to lean towards a heavier mouse for productivity and something lighter when I game, so building both options into a single chassis is an excellent convenience. Our previous wireless mouse of choice, the Logitech G903, remains an excellent option, especially for southpaw shooters, but the added customizability and macros set the G502 ahead of the competition. This wireless version is the spitting image of its ancestors and the pinnacle of uncompromising performance in wireless gaming rodents.